An epic production, 30 for 30, The Bank Shot, the NorCal SoCal rivalry.
The NorCal SoCal rivalry was born out of a sense of barbaric tribalism. It's pretty much just where you were from. Obviously, with Chris, Kevin, and myself being from Northern California, we represented that side, and the other team was Mike, Roy, and Sam. So, actually, I know Mike grew up in San Jose for a little bit in his youth. So maybe it's not necessarily exactly where you're from or where you're born, but it's just the roots that you claim. Anyway, that was a little backwards of him, but he made his choice. He took his side, and he had to pay the price, unfortunately.
The NorCal SoCal rivalry was really just another chapter in the long storybook of NorCal versus SoCal. So we just added our chapter to the history books. I'd say those games were just intense, and ultimately it took everything from us, and I'm just glad we came out on top.
What I remember about that specific game, the 2005 NorCal SoCal Championship, was how long it was. It took place at night. We were playing at probably around midnight or so. This half court basketball court right underneath this freeway overpass. And the thing that made it such a slog was how long it was. I think we played up to 20 something, but it was win by two. And as the game just got longer and longer, neither side could, put in the winning baskets. So we just kept on playing. In regards to the intensity of it, I could only compare it to a fire at a circus. It was very intense. Neither side was gonna surrender. Both sides were getting frustrated. Both sides were getting tired. Nobody wanted to lose, but because we played so long, it kind of felt like nobody wanted to win either. And I think that was what made Kevin's shot such a relief at the very end of it.
Mike, as a basketball player, is an incredible player. He's very athletic, very versatile. He could dribble the ball well, he could pass the ball well, he could get extremely hot from three, so we always had to be careful about that to chase him off the line if he did get hot. And he would always have this patented move where he would just drive down the middle of the lane and jump up and just float in the air for several seconds and shoot uncontested shots in the middle of the lane. It was quite unexplainable, really, his uncanny ability to do such a thing. As a competitor, basically there's two Mikes you would get as a competitor. The question would be, is he going to be the chill Mike that we all love and just goof off and not exceed his capabilities or play up to his potential because he's goofing off and having fun? Or is he going to play and be serious Mike? Unfortunately, for the NorCal team, oftentimes it was the serious Mike, which did result in quite a few of our losses, as really Mike is the game changer on both sides. If he was going to play well, it would be extremely tough to beat the SoCal team.
Mike's game? I remember he would hang. He had some hang time. Not very high, though. He would just kind of hang in the air like 4 inches off the ground. But then he would get a shot off. That's kind of how I'd characterize his game. A low hang time.
Mike, as a competitor and basketball player, I would say he has been one of the fiercest competitors I've ever played with. I remember a story of where we decided to run through every single screen in a pickup game, and that made the other team really angry. But for some reason, we just decided to keep on going. And that really kind of tells you about Mike and his competitive spirit. He's willing to do anything to win. In terms of his basketball abilities, I really remember him for two things. One, that jump hook, which was unstoppable, but really an outdated shot at the time. Really, Mike? What are you practicing granny free throw shots now? The second thing is, never passed the ball. The guy had great teammates, but never passed the ball. We used to call him Kobe because he never passed the ball. So,
If I had to describe Mike as a basketball player and competitor, all I could really say is that this guy played to win. I remember the very first time I met him was back in my freshman year. Played pickup ball, and I didn't even know who he was at the time. He was just at the courts and we played basketball 5-on-5. He was on the other team playing with his friends, and I was playing with some of my friends from the dorms. And this guy, Mike, I didn't know his name at the time, but he was talking all sorts of trash on the court. Just it wasn't even really like direct trash at his opponents. It was more just making passive aggressive snide comments like, "Oh, don't worry, guys, he can't shoot," or "Yeah, that was a lame pass. No wonder he turned it over." He'd say stuff like that just to kind of get under your skin, because I guess that was just one of his tactics that he would use to get into his opponent's heads. And I think I just walked away from that game thinking, "Wow, this guy's a real jerk." And then, lo and behold, like the next day, I went to a Campus Crusade meeting for the first time, and I saw him there. And in my mind, I was like, "Wait a minute, why is this guy at a Christian thing?" But anyway, if I were to describe Mike as a competitor, I would have to say that he was someone who tried to play as hard as he could to win every single time. I think he, as a player, he probably patterned himself after Magic Johnson, and he also wanted to have, that all-around game. So I think he saw himself as a lefty Magic Johnson, with a very special mode that he could turn on and turn off and be like Kobe. Me personally, I never really saw that aspect in his game. He wasn't Magic, he wasn't Kobe. To me, he was just like a slightly less annoying Sasha Vujacic.
it was intense. Like I said, it was quadruple overtime. We were all dead tired, and we just wanted to go home, but we couldn't for our pride. We had said that game was going to be the deciding game of essentially the entire NorCal SoCal rivalry, and winner takes all. So we really need to win that game. And up to that point, SoCal had our number, but we pulled it off at the end. And it was a sweet, sweet victory.
Kevin's game-winning three-point bank shot was probably the most significant field goal in the history of Western civilization. If it hadn't been for that shot, who knows what kind of world we'd be living in today. So, Mike, just want to say happy 15-year anniversary to the NorCal SoCal game that you lost, and happy birthday.
Hey, Mike. The details of our NorCal SoCal games are starting to get hazy, so we're getting old. But anyways, wanted to wish you happy birthday. Sorry we can't really celebrate in person. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I always appreciated our friendship, and I'm thankful for all the fun times that we had through the past. And so hopefully we get to continue that in the future. Happy birthday, wishing you nothing but the best this year.
Hi Mike, I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Hope both you and Kelly are doing well and enjoying the many blessings of married life. I look forward to the time where I can meet up with you again and hang out and chill. It's a pleasure to have you as a friend. Thanks, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mike. Just wanted to let you know we all love you, and so glad we could regale you with stories of our old pastime, and just to remind you of probably the greatest shot to ever happen in all of basketball. I know that the fact that ESPN and Epic decided to make a movie about it, documentary about it, really tells you of how important it is. But I digress. Happy birthday, Mike. I don't even know how old you are. What is he, like 80? 90? Do they make candles that go up that high? Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday for however old you are. All right. See ya.